All right, guys. This is the first of many practice sections. So practice, practice, practice. My goal hopefully is to get into a cadence where we can practice simple and also advanced practice problems, so that way we can get an idea of Ruby and kind of approaching it. So what I have here is the Cloud9. If you're on the event page and you're watching and not joining the Hangout, you can go ahead and grab that link and join us in the within the Cloud9 session. You do have to do a login. I should have sent a link out earlier, but I didn't. But you'll have to log in. So go ahead and do that, and I can grant you access to Cloud9. But for now, we'll just go through the goals are for this. Basically, I'm only going to do 30 minutes. The 30 minutes are probably going to consist of probably the first 5 minutes are going to be planning. The next 10 minutes are going to be hopefully it was going to be testing, but we'll see how that goes. And then whatever is not completed, then you'll be able to go ahead and complete on your own time. But it's not, the goal is not completing each assignment every week. The goal is kind of approaching the problem and approaching it within reason. So sometimes we take longer than we should on certain problems and not researching certain things. So this hopefully will kind of help all of us. So I have two exceptions. We're to jump right into it and explain. Well, actually, let's explain the problem first. So this is from the problem set Project Euler, which I will throw in the Cloud9. So if anybody comes after the fact and is looking for it. So the idea is the sum of squares for the first 10 natural numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, natural squares. So, okay. So the square of the first 10, the square of the sum of the first 10 natural number is, let me read this over here. All right, so 1 squared plus 2 squared. Okay, that didn't copy over properly. So 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared, etc. equals 385. So then the sum of the first 10 numbers, so 1 to 10, is this number. Does that make sense? Or bad? I guess, yeah. So ideally what we need to do, instead of going 1 to 10, they are asking to find the sum of the first 10 natural numbers squared and the sum of the first squared 100 natural numbers. So ideally it's going to be 1 to 100 within the array. So that's the explanation. We're going to jump right in. This one actually is fairly easy. The first 5, I did the first 5 of the Project Euler, and they were not as easy as this, but I think maybe it's because maybe I've gone through some experience and some practice. So, don't know. Think actually I need to add some access. Oops. So, all right. So you guys are in. You should be able to use the chat functionality and that. All right. And looks like we just lost everything.
Oh.
I don't know if it was deleted. Someone highlighted everything, and if you're able to.
Well, when I clicked the link before you said anything, I couldn't see anything in this file. It was empty.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was.
Maybe we should just. We'll start over. All right. No, I copied over fine.
Yes, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
All right. Well, Yeah, well, there was a must in here before anyway. So I had arrays, what was it, sum of squares. You know, actually, let's just not even do exceptions. Let's skip that. Let's actually just approach the problem. So we know that we need to find an array of 1 to 100. So we have to define, sorry. And then we have to more than likely create a loop that will sum each number and square it. And then we have to create another loop that will square each number and sum it. So this is our approach. So any ideas on how to start? We're definitely going to need to create an array. So we can
create a range.
Yes. So to range like and you guys are more than welcome to type and do notes. Yeah, go ahead.
And we can say array.
Yep.
And this is our array.
Yep. And we could definitely see that in the terminal if we.
And you can also use shortcut of puts, just say p.
Yes.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
So, trying to pull up a terminal. Here we go. Sometimes the bottom terminal dies on me, so I usually will go to View, Terminals, and New Terminal. Kind of. But yeah, I'm just testing out the. Ooh, what happened? There we go. So weird. My terminal's going full screen. All right. So I just confirmed on the screen that our array works. So moving on. So we have an array. Maybe we can define it into a variable rather than so we can actually use it elsewhere. So that way later we can just go PR, which should also work. Oh, it didn't work. All right.
Because you know why it doesn't work?
Why
because,
is that?
Because probably you should first save this file.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. You are 100% correct. All right, awesome. But we don't need that there. So now we need to do a loop. I guess there's some different ways you can approach it. You actually just use all variables, but I think the loop will probably do us the most good. So you guys familiar with the map?
Yep.
Function? So if we created a loop, actually let's just do all right, in our first loop we have to sum each number and square it. So does anybody want to try that out?
We can, or did you said that you don't want a new variable?
We could use variables, that's fine.
Yeah, like a sum variable. And I think, and square it. Uh,
Two asterisk signs if you want to power to 2.
Yeah, so
2 stars.
But where should I put that?
yeah, you can put it right next to the x. So
Next.
as a
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
so you can raise the power, which is quite easy. So honestly,
But this example doesn't work because we don't have defined sum variable.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So we would need to
And
identify.
I think we can use instead of map inject function.
Yes.
What does it do?
It's similar to map, but it's create some variable. Inside inject we have sum.
Hello.
Mhm. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, I will show you how to use inject.
Hey, I'm gonna throw the link in the chat again if you want to join us in Cloud9. We haven't gotten that far.
And this one should return a sum where each num and this one should complete our second task.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do, that would be sum each number and
Yeah.
square it.
Exactly.
All right. So let's actually. So we don't need this because we've got we have it right here. So how would we test to see this works?
Maybe we can create some methods, some function.
Yeah, we can do.
For example, we can provide how many digits we want to use. For example, here we have example of 100, and we can do this more flexible.
Yeah. So have like a method called sum of squares or sum squared maybe because we're taking the sum and then we're squaring it.
Yeah.
And then have the argument, which is the array. And that will give us the ability to then call it as a method.
Or we can also, instead of array, provide digit, our max digit,
Yeah.
and inside this method we can create array.
Yep. So do you have access to the file, Mikhail? Do you want to type that out?
Yeah. Okay. We can say something like number and inside we can say R1, something like this.
Yep.
and this one should be easy to test. You can, for example, say raise sum square, for example, 10, and unless, or maybe here should be result, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and our result is actually 385. This should be our result, unless sum square of 10 is equal 385.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. So then we can actually even do. So let's actually. Let's call. Actually, I'm going to run this in the terminal. And we have no error, so we're good on that. So we know that works. So we're halfway done, and we have 15 minutes left, which is good.
But yeah, we have done one of the part of this task.
Yes. So I'm going to raise an exception called square summed. So we're going to take squares and then sum them. And if we take the first 10, the answer would be...
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So then we should get an exception now, because we have undefined squared sum. So let's go ahead and define that. And let's clean this up. We don't need that any longer. So let's define squared summed. And we're also, but is there a way to, do we need to repeat the array here if we already have written out, or should we still repeat it?
Actually, you can use your first idea, like providing array instead of number. Then we don't have to repeat array.
Yeah. All right. So then,
okay, I've changed our argument.
that works.
And let me change also here.
J'arrive.
And what we know now, we have to sum each elements of this array and then square it.
Yep. So then let's so we may, I missed yeah. So we can inject it similar to the same way we did it before, but rather than injecting, we can actually square it prior to Where is sum identified? We don't have a. Okay.
Easier way would be use reduce and inside this proc use proc element, proc object,
Okay.
like colon plus.
Oh. Yes. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't used it. So let me
But
know if.
in parentheses, instead of curly braces, you have to use parentheses and colon plus.
All right. So we're gonna get.
Yeah.
It will take the sum of each number.
Yeah. Sum of array what we provided. It will reduce. We'll do sum of array of numbers. Okay, this should produce if we use 10 elements of if we use array of 10 elements, we will have something like we will get actually how to say it. Okay, you can check what this one will return.
Yeah, we'll look it up later. Oop. But don't we need to actually create a loop that squares the numbers first and then sum them? If we do reduce, we're going to get the sum first.
Yeah, but this is actually what we need. First, we need to reduce, and then we have to square it.
Okay. All right. Well, we can try it out. So then, as far as squaring it, that should be sufficient.
Should be.
Let's check it out. Undefined variable number.
Number.
On where is number?
That's a question. Here we have number, and here should be 100.
Oh yeah, yes, because that's not defined.
Or we can also do something like we can say number, and we can do this more flexible number here. In this way.
That works. All right, so now we're getting undefined for inject.
Array of numbers. Sum square. You know why? Because in our test we provide number instead of array of numbers. Here.
Yeah.
I highlighted, and we should here provide array R. And okay, and this one should work.
All right. I think I spelled something wrong. Yep.
Squared summed.
Yeah. Don't say that. All right. No errors. So we're good. So we've got the part 1, we've got part 2, we've got part 3.
And we have to do subtraction.
Yes. Yeah. So now we have to find, which I left out, find the difference of each. All right. So then that sounds easy enough. So then, any ideas on how to find a difference of two methods?
We can actually provide another method difference of difference, and there we can provide oh, how to do this? Okay, we can actually provide we can actually create new variable difference, and there we can say sum. We have to squared summed of array minus sum square array r. Yeah, but we don't have to put this one inside new method. I think we can test our variable.
Cool. We can actually, should we just raise difference? Why is that? Did it tell you the difference? 2640?
You can check in the tab of Project Euler. There is a reason. You got it.
Yeah. I think it's 264.
Yeah, double equal sign.
Yeah. 2640 wouldn't be the answer, but it looks like it's working. All right. So let's just see the difference. 2640. That shouldn't be the answer. I think the answer should be like 30. Should be in the thousands.
Sorry, can you repeat?
The answer should be a lot higher than that. But I got returned 2640. Sum squared summed.
But this answer looks correct, isn't?
It's working, but the number that we got returned by printing the difference should actually be within the thousands, I thought. But maybe I'm incorrect. But it's not raising the test.
Okay, but answer for our test is correct, because we should got 2,640, but now we have to create tests for number 100. Because now our number is 10.
Yeah.
And we want to change our 10 to 100. And we will get an answer for Project Euler.
All right. So then, with our test, shall we take? Well, what is the? I guess we'll have to print our methods that we created. So, and then so yeah, the difference from that to this doesn't look quite right. All right, but I'm actually going to end it there because we hit our 30-minute mark. I'm sure there's enough information here that if anybody's watching the video can actually go ahead and figure out what the difference is. So I'm going to end the recording. And definitely, if we're going to do this, I don't know about next week, but I'll try to do the same time next Sunday. I just have to see my my schedule. But I would like to do this on a weekly basis and work through problems together. But definitely, thanks for coming, guys, and I'm going to hit the end button.